Julie Jacobs, creator for Lessons in a Bubble. I'm a K-8 resource specialist, which means I do special ed intervention in a pull-out, push-in model. So whether you're a special education teacher or just an intervention provider, building the schedule can be one of the hardest things that you have to do. When you go to build your schedule, the first thing to consider is blocking out the lunch and the recess time. Those times are built into the school schedule and they can't be changed by you or the general education teacher, so you're going to have to avoid those. Build your groups so you know how many groups you need to have, how long they need to last, and what grade levels are going to be included. We're going to decide, can we see all of a grade level for writing at the same time, or do some of them need to come at a different time to get their support? Maybe some of the students need 3 days a week and some need 5 days a week. All of this needs to be included when you're building your groups. After you have your groups built, you need to identify what teachers this is going to involve. And you're going to go to the teachers, let them know which students and about how many minutes you're going to be pulling them. But you're not going to ask them, wait for it, you ready? You're not going to ask them what's the best time to pull a student. There will never be 5 or even 3 teachers at the same grade level even that all agree what the best time to pull a student out is. Instead, you're going to ask them what time doesn't work for you. So knowing a student has to be pulled 3 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week, and knowing that you want their input, ask them what time does not work for them. What's their non-negotiable? What in their classroom day do they feel is really important that they want all their students there in attendance? They get to choose that. So let them tell you what that is. Given those times, I'm sure you're going to be able to work out a schedule. I've always been able to do it by just asking the one question of what doesn't work instead of the what do you prefer. If you ask what do you prefer and they can't get it, it causes disappointment on their end and chaos on your end. Remember that we need to always have our students in mind when we're building the schedule. So we don't want to pull students during the same time every day, which is why we'll have an alternating schedule for students that we see 5 days a week. I let the students who need 3 days a week, their schedule, I program in first, and the students who need 5 days a week will have the Tuesday, Thursday and those times, and then Monday, Wednesday and the other times. I don't want to pull them during the same time every day because they might never hear read aloud. And I don't want to pull them at the same time every day because it might be their favorite subject, and that isn't fair. Remember, we always want our students to be in the general ed classroom as much as possible, but if they need pull-out service to address their IEP goals and accommodate the minutes that have been determined by the previous IEP team, that's what we need to do. That's kind of our job description. So after you've done your little magic and you've created your schedule, if you have a teacher come and ask you, can it be changed because that time doesn't really work either, you need to ask, well, did the time that's non-negotiable change? They're usually going to say no. They just think if they're noisy about the new time that you've given them, which already was outside their non-negotiable, they make noise about that, you'll go ahead and change it again. If their request is something that you could accommodate in your schedule, don't change it without checking with the other teachers that it involves. If the other teachers have already rearranged something of theirs after you provided their schedule, it would be unfair then to change it again because of the one noisy teacher. We don't want to reward that. Then if the teacher indicates that this is really a bad time and what they're going to be missing, you need to remind them that IEP does have a piece in there saying that they will miss some general education instruction. When we're writing the setting pages and it says that 20% of their day will be outside of the classroom, it has to be 20 minutes a day outside of the classroom. So it's the non-negotiable for you. You have to follow through on that free appropriate public education identified by the IEP team. So student might be missing work, it's okay. The IEP team knew about that and the parents agreed to it and it's signed. That's what I have to do. So there you have it. That's how you're going to build a schedule. Start with the things that nobody can change, the recess and the lunch. Then start with what the teachers really would be uncomfortable with, that little time frame that doesn't work for them. Then build your schedule. Try to keep it alternating if you see students every day, even though it'd be more convenient for you. And even though I didn't mention it already, plan in a lunch for yourself. I really want you to have a lunch every day. So if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel and join me over on Facebook. I have a group called Lessons in a Bubble Special Education where I talk about tips and tricks like this, what's coming up in the special ed world, things we can do to make our job easier. After 34 years, I've tried a lot of it, and I want to share and make your life easier so that nobody has to cry at the end of the day over special education.